A young man had stomach pain, went to the doctor. Doctor gave him medicine. He took it. The pain stopped. A few months later, pain came back. He took the medicine again, stopped again. But each time the pain returned faster and hit harder. Eventually he realized the fact that it worked every time. That was the trap. If you are too tired to think, but somehow still too awake to rest, let this ancient Chinese medical story take over for a little while. Fall asleep when you are ready. Qing Dynasty, southern China, a small city. There was a young scholar, early 20s. The scholar had been studying hard since childhood. Exam pressure was intense. His family's expectations were high. When he turned 20, he started getting stomach pain. Not sharp pain, more like a dull, heavy ache. Sometimes it came after meals, sometimes when he was stressed, sometimes for no clear reason at all. He went to see a doctor. The doctor took his pulse and said this was a liver pattern, not the same thing as modern liver disease. The old doctors were talking about direction, tension, the way the body holds pressure. He said the young man's stress and emotional tightness had caused his liver energy to stagnate, and that was affecting his stomach. The doctor prescribed herbs, costus root, bitter orange, cardamom, all of them designed to move stagnant energy and release the blockage. The scholar took the medicine. The pain stopped. Quickly, as soon as the herbs went in, that heavy ache lifted. He was relieved. He thought he'd found the right doctor. A few months later, the pain came back. The scholar didn't think much of it. He went back to the same doctor. The doctor said it was the same issue, stagnant liver energy, and prescribed the same herbs. He took them. The pain stopped again. A few months later, pain returned. He went back. Doctor prescribed again. Pain stopped again. This went on for a while, but the young man started noticing a pattern. The first time, the pain had stayed away for several months. The second time, only 2 months. The third time, 1 month. The fourth time, a few weeks. And each time the pain came back, it was worse. What used to be a dull ache was now sharp, twisting, gripping. He started to worry. He asked the doctor, "Why does it keep coming back faster? Why is it getting worse?" The doctor said he was under too much stress. He needed to relax more, rest more. The scholar thought, okay, maybe I'm just too tense. He tried to relax, but the pain kept coming back. And now it wasn't just the pain. He was exhausted, couldn't eat much, wasn't sleeping well. His friends said he looked thin. His face had lost color. He went back to the doctor again. The doctor prescribed the same herbs again. They still worked. The pain would stop. But now the relief lasted only days instead of months. The scholar got married. A few months after the wedding, the stomach pain came back, worse than ever. This time, he was bent over, sweating cold, face pale. His family rushed to get the doctor. Same doctor. The doctor prescribed an even larger dose of the same moving, dispersing herbs. The young man took them. This time the medicine didn't work as fast. The pain eased a little, but didn't fully stop. His body felt more and more depleted, like he was being hollowed out from the inside. Eventually, he became very ill. In the original record, the ending was much darker, but for tonight, what matters is the pattern. Later, another doctor reviewed the case. This doctor shook his head and said, "Those herbs weren't wrong, but they only did half the job." "What do you mean?" "Those herbs were designed to move stagnant energy, to disperse it, push it, open it up. So every time he took them, the blockage released and the pain stopped. That relief was real. But the question is, why did the energy keep getting stuck? Because the foundation underneath wasn't being nourished. When a person is under pressure, emotionally tight, holding things in, the body's capacity to move and release tension gets blocked. If you use herbs that disperse that blockage, the pain will stop. That part works. But if you only keep dispersing without rebuilding what's underneath, it's like running an engine without ever refilling the oil. Eventually, the blockage comes back faster because there's not enough foundation left to support smooth movement. The scholar's body still had reserves in the beginning, so one round of dispersing herbs could hold him for months. But each time he took those herbs, he was depleting his deeper reserves. The less of that foundation he had, the faster the stagnation came back. A vicious cycle. By the end, his body was hollowed out. At that point, no amount of dispersing could hold him up anymore. The doctor said, if from the beginning, along with those dispersing herbs, he'd also taken herbs to nourish the foundation, things like cooked ramania, white peony, tang quay, then the relief would have been real, and the recovery would have been real too. But if you only disperse without nourishing, the relief is real, but so is the depletion. The key to this story isn't dispersing herbs are bad. They're not. They worked. They stopped the pain. They gave real relief. The problem is, they only did half of what needed to be done. They gave relief, but not recovery. Think about your own life. You're tense, overloaded, holding too much. What do? You move, you sweat, you talk it out. You let the pressure leave the body. And in the moment, you do feel lighter. That tightness opens up. The pressure seems to go away. That relief is real. But a few days later, the tightness is back, and it seems to come back faster. So you release again, feel lighter again. Then it's back again. The cycle gets tighter and tighter. Why? Because you're releasing, but you're not replenishing. Release is necessary. Pressure needs an outlet. Emotions need to move. But if all you do is release, keep dispersing, keep pushing things out, without actually resting, eating well, sleeping well, truly rebuilding, your body gets emptier and emptier. Then you need to release more and more often because your baseline capacity has dropped. The same release no longer carries you as far. Not because the stress got bigger, because your capacity got smaller. It's been worn down by all that releasing without replenishing. That was the scholar's story. The medicine worked every time. The pain stopped every time. That made him believe he was on the right track. But what he didn't see was that every round of dispersing was consuming a deeper layer of his foundation. Eventually, that foundation ran out. At that point, no amount of dispersing could hold him together anymore. His doctor wasn't a bad doctor. The herbs he prescribed really did work. But he only saw the blockage needs to move. He didn't see the foundation needs to be rebuilt. He gave relief. He didn't give recovery. So the young man got weaker each time until he couldn't hold up anymore. Sometimes relief is real, but relief is not the same as recovery. That's enough for tonight. If one line stays with you, keep it. If sleep takes the rest, even better. Rest well. Heerin. Eat, play, heal.